Now we're going to move on to today's focus here on France 24. And since the terrorist attacks in Paris right back in July, thousands of French websites have become victim to cyber attacks. The most known when just 2 weeks ago, hackers claiming to be from the Islamic State group hacked the French broadcaster TV5 Monde, of course, bringing down the website and indeed the whole television channel. What though if the computer hacker was that of a nuclear power station or a city's water treatment system? Well, Claire Williams and Farah Basharek look at how safe or not our critical infrastructure is.
Attack warning at this military base in northern France. Spies have hacked into the army's computer network. These soldiers are locked in combat with the attackers.
I'm looking into what's happening. We've had an attack on the system and we're looking into exactly what it is.
This scenario is just a training exercise. The soldiers are playing a digital war game against each other. In the next 4 years, France plans to spend €1 billion on cyber defence. The army's elite cyber force will double to 450 soldiers. Jimmy is one of them.
The army needs cyber soldiers because nowadays it's no longer about two sides facing up against each other in a fight. Now everything is computer-based, so we have to have protection everywhere to be able to defeat different types of attacks.
Jihadists targeted 19,000 French websites in the week after January's terrorist attacks, defacing homepages and posting propaganda. But the army's biggest nightmare, having terrorists hack into the computers used to launch missiles and direct drones.
I don't
think it's science fiction. Even though we've made sure our systems are properly protected and they're closed, we're still taking this seriously. This week's exercise is a scenario whereby an operational IT command system has been corrupted from the inside.
Officially, these soldiers are training for defense only. But certain countries like the US, Israel, China and Russia have been accused of launching cyber attacks against other states. The virus Stuxnet, identified in 2010, infiltrated Iran's nuclear system, causing up to a fifth of its centrifuges to fail. A New York Times investigation claimed the US and Israel had cyber-sabotaged Iran's nuclear program. And last year, hackers made it impossible to turn off a blast furnace at a steelworks in Germany. The government said the hackers caused, quote, massive damage, but the identity and location of the steelworks remains top secret. The cyber attacks in Iran and Germany showed how digital strikes can have serious physical consequences. Imagine Paris in the hands of hackers, the electrical grid, water treatment, public transport, all being manipulated from afar. It's a threat France's top cybersecurity agency says it's taking seriously. Stéphane Menet trains government staff in critical infrastructure so they can detect cyber attacks. He uses this mini model of an industrial platform.
If something goes wrong on the machine, anyone should be able to hit the emergency stop. So to be able to stop the machine.
Almost every critical infrastructure runs off the same basic IT system that allows machines to be controlled from a distance. It's called SCADA, and it dates back to the 1960s, long before today's cyber threats even existed. But now industry managers are connecting SCADA networks to the internet, making them vulnerable to attack.
What's difficult is that the group of people we're dealing with are mostly control engineers, not computer scientists. Nowadays, these two worlds have to live with each other. They have to work together to reinforce the security of this infrastructure. But very often, engineers don't have the cyber culture needed to understand all the risks linked to cybersecurity.
We headed to Cancun, Mexico to meet the experts who hunt down viruses. They're known as ethical white hat hackers, and they've been invited by Eugene Kaspersky. The Russian antivirus king founded Kaspersky Labs security firm, and he holds a summit once a year.
Let the fight begin.
Kaspersky's antivirus software has made him a billionaire. But you won't catch this KGB graduate using a smartphone.
My phone, I use this old-style phone, not because of security, simply because I like it. It's almost 8 years old and the same battery. So.
Sophisticated viruses like Stuxnet that infected Iran's nuclear system cost millions and take years to produce. But once they're out there, other hackers can copy or modify them and then sell them as cyber weapons to terrorists.
I'm afraid the next step, that's traditional terrorists, to employ software engineers to design attacks on critical infrastructure. Of course, they don't have enough of clue on how to develop the software, how to design the attacks. They will employ professional hackers, maybe professional criminals, or maybe kidnap and force them to do that.
But even if terrorists could attack critical infrastructure, would they? At the summit, we met a 22-year-old American who tracks jihadist hackers. 10 years ago, he set up an internet forum to engage with young Muslims. Some of his online friends disappeared to join the jihad.
They do splashy attacks. They do attacks that get lots of media attention, but they don't want to attack critical infrastructure because they don't want to take the heat. They don't want more intelligence agencies on them than they already have. They want to remain stealthy. What's scary is that all that's preventing it right now is that the motive isn't there. The capabilities are there, the people are there, it's just they haven't seized them yet.
Behind their computer screens, and even on this Mexican beach, the white hat hackers are keeping their guard up. Engineers, hackers, soldiers, they're all training for cyber combat against the very real threat to our everyday lives.
Yeah, special report for you there from Focus. Fascinating stuff, wasn't it, Claire Williams, with that report for you.